I grew up in Sacramento, California, and my mom was a costume designer, and my dad was a director playwright. And my parents always joked around that I was born in a trunk because I truly just eat, slept, and would breathe theater. I'm Chole Condon, and this is my journey to becoming a Google Developer Advocate. I attended college at San Francisco State University, where I majored in theater performance. And yeah, I learned a lot about just how to communicate different ideas, be it musically or dramatically. After I graduated, I think my hope with my degree was to be a full-time actress. I booked my very first musical, Xanadu, where I was on roller skates the whole show. And, my picture was on billboards and in the newspaper, and there was a big cardboard cutout of me in the lobby. But I was only getting paid a couple $100s. And I realized, okay, this is not a sustainable way to live in the Bay Area. So I put a big focus on trying to find a steady 9-to-5 Monday through Friday job. I was a children's birthday party entertainer. I was a summer camp counselor. I worked for a little bit as a virtual personal assistant. I was an account executive working in sales for a little bit. And then I got into office management and executive assistant work. I had this kind of weird Cinderella complex where I was by day sweeping the floors, cleaning things up, and then at night, literally getting standing ovations and thunderous applause. I did so many musicals over my time after college. I did Shrek the Musical, 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, Carrie the Musical, Pirates of Penzance, multiple Hairsprays, Singing in the Rain, Jerry Springer the Opera. My final show that I did, ironically enough, before I made the transition into engineering, was How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, which is very much a theme, I feel like, in my tech career. I actually decided to make the transition into tech because of a talk that I heard at Google. And I happened to see a talk about getting young women, specifically elementary school, middle school age, interested in computer science. And it really got me thinking as I'm sitting there watching this talk, I never had anyone in my life that I could look to who looked like me, acted like me, sounded like me, who worked as an engineer or worked in this space. So after I saw that talk at Google, I started looking up all these things like Girls Who Code and all these different programs that were for much younger girls. So I lamented to my boyfriend, my ship has sailed. I wish that this stuff was around when I was younger. And he said, you can still learn. Like, there are resources online. And it literally took someone saying to me, this is still a possibility and something that you can do, that just ignited my interest. And I ended up going the boot camp route and attended Hackbright Academy, which is an all-women's software engineering boot camp in San Francisco. It was one of the hardest things I've done in my life, but I'm so glad that I did it. I had a very big epiphany when I was in my boot camp, where we were all presenting our final projects that we had to create for the boot camp. And all the women in my boot camp seemed very nervous to be presenting their topics. And they're looking at me like I'm crazy, going like, why are you smiling? And I said, this is the best, easiest part. All we have to do is go in front of a bunch of people and talk about our project. And something clicked for me there, which is that a lot of engineers don't like public speaking or being on camera or being able to explain concepts to people. So that really ignited my passion for the developer relations space and developer advocacy and developer evangelism. I use my background as an actress every single day in my job as a developer advocate. A lot of the scripting that I do, you really are telling a story, no matter what it is that you're writing or trying to explain. Also, just general theater etiquette, I think, is also a huge part of being able to create good and interesting content. People learn better when they're engaged in having fun. So I think a lot about my time as a children's theater performer, where I was playing a crayon on stage, where, it takes a lot to get the attention of a 4 or 5-year-old. I'm willing to bet that it's even more difficult to get the attention of an engineer. I think it's so important that we have people that represent all walks of life, be it musical theater people or wrestlers or whatever your background may be. There truly is so much creativity to be had in this space. So if you think that your job is just going to be sitting behind a computer, crunching numbers, there's so much more in this industry that you can do and that can help fulfill, what it is you want to be able to contribute to technology.